listening? Welcome to the Craic'n Coachin podcast. I'm your host, Emmett McGinn, and I'm with Donald McAllister. How's it going, mate?
I'm good, brother. How are you doing?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad at all. What's the story? So I suppose we should share the purpose of the podcast, what we're here for, what we're looking to provide with getting a bit
Yeah,
of a
bad
podcast.
timing, but I've just spilled my coffee.
It's not good, mate.
Heartbreaking.
You
No,
alright?
fuck it. Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all
Where to
good.
go?
All over something that doesn't matter right now. But
Alright, mate. Well, will we just continue on? Is that an outro, or is that's part of it? We'll keep that in. But the purpose of the podcast, mate, well, I mean, that we should probably speak about how we got going with the podcast. For me, the purpose of it is to provide a decent level of value and insight into our coaching practice, like the name of the podcast, Craic'n Coachin. We'll have a bit of crack, but we also want to bring a bit of value in regards to our coaching, our experiences within coaching. We'll deep dive into topics around training, nutrition, mindset, bodybuilding, hypertrophy, things that are trending in the industry, and we'll have a bit of fun. Me and you have actually, I just realised this, we've never met in person.
never.
I don't,
Probably,
not to mind.
probably should have somehow, but we just completely avoided each other somehow.
We'll probably been in the same setting, whether it was a gym or the Devonish or something. But we've never spoken in person. But we're starting a podcast together.
Me and you in the Devonish, like I'd be giving you the eyes across the room.
Probably, I was probably back then. I would have been acting a bit of a maggot, I would say. But it's probably again. This actually shows us a good side of social media, I would say, because we actually connected through Instagram. Like I seen your content, I seen the level of value you're putting up, the level of your coaching, and something I resonate with you. Like I think there's a level of respect there. I think we're pretty aligned when it comes to coaching, like our like principles within coaching, maybe like similar. We've adopted like probably similar training styles, and it's clear like we love both training and coaching. So it's a good
Yeah,
match.
definitely agreement. It was pretty serendipitous, wasn't it, too? Because, well, not that you're not, but I'm just pretty outgoing in the sense that if I want something, then I'll just go get it. And I had a goal of starting a podcast this year, and then I text you, and it was just serendipitous in the fact that you had that on your list as well for the year.
I'd written down as one of my goals to start a podcast. I didn't know how I was going to get a podcast going. I didn't know if it was going to be a solo podcast, and then it was actually a short space of time you reached out, and I was like, that is perfect. I was honoured to jump on and get it going, mate. So let's get it.
Let's get it, brother. So, first of all, how's your day been?
My day's been good. So we meant to get this out a couple of weeks ago, probably. We've been playing around with times. I think this time suits us well. We're on opposite ends of the world. I'm in Australia, living, and Donal is in the heart of West Belfast. So we're like 11 hours apart. I'm 11 hours ahead. We were going to do it on a Wednesday morning my time, your Tuesday evening, but you work in a busy gym. So I think my Sunday evening, your Sunday morning is working quite well. So let's see how it goes. My day's gone decent, mate. Sunday's my busiest day when it comes to coaching. Even though Sunday should probably be a day of chilling out and relaxing. Like doing check-ins on a Sunday. I work as a school teacher Monday to Friday. So like over the weekend I just have to all my coaching work all my online work in terms of planning content, batching that all together, doing check-ins, all that sort of stuff has to come through the weekend, really, like the majority of it, because during the school day I'll probably be mentally drained, so I'm not going to be too productive after a day of school and a day of travelling.
No, it is needs must, mate. I only recently switched over my check-in days to the Monday, and it has made such a big difference, to be honest. Being able to do it in that Monday to Friday setting and having, well, of course, having time to do stuff like this now. I usually wouldn't work on a Sunday at all. Today I'm breaking out rule for the podcast, and then I've got a bit of a call later.
Yeah.
But my Sundays are usually pretty chilled out, pretty up early, do some sort of activity, whether it is it's always some sort of cardio base where it's steady state, bit of a run with Rihanna, Migos, something like that there, and then smash a coffee and a pastry, and that's just starts my Sunday off really well. And then later in the day, about 2 o'clock, I'll usually go and just start the cause early onset CTE, bit of Muay
Yeah.
Thai.
Lovely, mate. For me, like Sunday, I also will reflect and plan ahead for the week too. Like I think that's super important, um, especially with the schedule that I have and like really wanting to push the coaching, but also having a full time job on top of it. So I just need to be efficient with my time, which thankfully I've got. I've probably reached a point now where I've got that pretty much nailed down in terms of like my structure and routine. Just as a necessary, like I've had to have it this way. Otherwise, the coaching wouldn't work, and I would, yeah, I'd be drained. Like I would probably not be
I
too,
mean,
yeah,
I think people
productive.
don't
So
realize that this happens across the board as well. Like clients probably just think that they're the people that only experience this. We experience it too. There's what we want to happen that is optimal, and there's what needs to happen that's realistic. Like I'm sure you would love to be like I've only gotten to a position in the last like it's been 9 years of coaching to where I've actually been able to switch that
yeah,
to the block on the Monday and actually have a Sunday off. Up until now, I've never ever taken a day off. I usually just go
yeah,
7 days a week, and like you say, there's days where it's a wee bit easier, and you have them resets, and that's completely fine. But yeah, I'm definitely benefiting for this day off, and you can see already. Like I've started filling it with stuff, and Rihanna's like, "Oh, day off's going really well, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, just a podcast," and then the next month, a couple of fucking business calls, and nah. So I just like being
yeah,
active. Love working.
yeah. It's probably switching off. We're probably both in the same boat there. Like switching off completely, I find difficult. And I feel like I always need to be pushing. So it's almost like I would like if it was someone else looking in, I'd be telling myself it's all right to like I'd be probably pulling myself back a bit and like making more time for like being stress free and like obviously relationships and um like actually having a bit of downtime is equally important. Otherwise, you are going to burn out. Like, but
I think
and I
it's very
probably have
hard.
burned
Is
out.
that yeah? No, here I definitely agree, and you don't even realize it's coming sometimes. But I think as a man in like in their late 20s, in their 30s, you do want to work. You just want to start setting up life. You know, I think we have a lot of the same values and probably want the same things in life with family, etc. And do you know what I mean, this is a
Mm,
stressful time for us now because we're like, okay, like whatever we do in the next 5 years is really going to count towards our later life and what way our families' lives are going to be set up.
yeah, but like, see when like in the same breath, like when it comes to coaching, because it fills me with purpose. Like I have a deep passion for it. I love being able to help people within their own like physique development and their own journeys. So oftentimes, although again you have to like work hard and like there will be difficult periods, but a lot of times it doesn't feel like work because there is that sense of fulfillment and you are actually getting enjoyment from it at the time. So although it's like full on, I do like it as well, and that's why I want to reach a position where it's full time, because doing it and managing it with a full time job is probably what adds to the stress, because the other job isn't what fulfills me, isn't what actually gives me purpose. It more so takes away from that and drains me a bit. So working towards that is probably like a tricky spot where I'm in. I just have to keep pushing through it, like until I'm in a position where I can do that.
Yeah, well, like I have a nice wee add-on and then a question for you that'll sort of dive us into this week's episode. But one of my favorite things to happen during the week, and it happens every single week, I'll be taking a client like early in the morning, and they'll turn around and be like, "I don't want to fucking go to work today," and I'm like, "Me too, but me too." like 2 hours deep into coaching people, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Nothing." But it's just a nice wee
Yeah.
conversation piece where they're always just like so shocked, and I'm like, I actually love my job. Like, you're sitting there like with them, and they're like complaining with them. Do you know what I mean? Being like,
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking go to work today. I'm like, "Ah, I wouldn't want to go to your job either, buddy." Like, I do. I really love my job. And I know that people are on this are probably listening to this here going, "Oh, they'll have to say that it is their job and they're talking to us." But I honestly wouldn't be doing this here if I didn't want to. You know, like there's there's not as much benefit from it as people think.
No,
From
definitely.
You get a lot more freedom, which is nice. And especially with Brianna coaching with alongside me, we get those wee stints in the day where you can go out for walks and stuff. But the benefit genuinely is, like you said, it's passion. It's seeing people do well, and that's something I've always loved. Always
Yeah,
loved that.
but like
But
the thing is, yeah, sorry to jump in. The onus is on
go ahead.
you, is where the pressure comes, because you have to make it work. Like it's not like the typical 9 to 5 job where you're getting paid regardless. Like you have to work, and you have to put in the effort, and you have to be like work hard enough to get to the point where you're actually very good. Um, so that's probably the challenge in it. Like the onus is on you. That can be a double-edged sword, because in some ways, um, for some people, like there's times maybe if you don't have to be productive, you're not on someone else's schedule, you're on your own schedule. It's up to you to be productive with that time. So as much as it can be easy to procrastinate, like it's gonna have negative implications to your business, because you are at the end of the day the business. So,
Yeah, but like you
but
say again, double-edged sword. The biggest thing I definitely struggle with is the switching off part. It's like, am I do I need this, or am I just being a fruit? Like,
yeah, no, what do you mean?
um, but we'll dive into this week's question, which is just why do we coach? We've sort of touched on it there, but Emmett, why do you coach?
Yeah, well, I did dive into it a bit, like in terms of gives me purpose, gives me passion, fulfillment. I think the reason it all started was my like love, inherent love for training, um, and I always loved training. Like I was active from I was a kid. I boxed for 10 years, um, at a competitive level. So like that sort of identity of being an athlete and being someone that trained was just bred into me. When that sort of stopped, and I stopped boxing, and when I got to uni and stuff, I needed something else to fill that void, and then that was through like strength training. Obviously for the first load of years, it was like most people, there was no structure to it. It was just training, going in, trying to lift heavy,
The bro
ego
split.
lifting. Yeah, 1 rep max and absolutely everything in sight, um, and doing so with horrific form. But like that's like I loved it, and just doing mad, like trying out all mad different mad stuff, that I obviously have no logic to it and wouldn't do it now. But that's how I got into it. Love for training, and then helping other people with training when they kind of caught on that it was something that I was into. Like it started off helping friends with training, but like beyond that, like it gives me like fulfillment and purpose to help other people, and seeing that change within their own like journey. They may start, and the goal might be just to lose a bit of body fat, might be just to build a bit of muscle, but then through that process and seeing them actually progress in all areas, not just their physique, but how it then like almost spirals, almost like a compound effect into other areas of their life. And being able to share that journey with someone, I think is unbelievable. um
You get so many what I would call proud dad moments.
yeah.
Like
um
I have actually been in positions where I've like, especially because of course I do coach in person, which I know you're sort of hoping to transition to, but see when boys are like 130, 140 kilo coming down to a photo shoot day, be like,
yeah.
fuck me, you can't help but just be like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's life changing. And I was in a position myself where I wasn't like, probably I've had through periods, even though I trained, I wasn't in great shape. Mentally, there's been times where I haven't probably been in great shape either, and like seeing myself almost get that right, and seeing the positive impact it's had on me, and then being able to take almost like from that, and to help other people on a similar path. It's what it's all about, and like I love doing it. and I wouldn't do it, as we both said, wouldn't do it otherwise. You'd be mad to do it if you didn't love it. I mean, like, I suppose within the online space, it's popular to want to become an online coach now, because people think it's easy. People think it's something you can just
Get to
sit.
go live it up in Bali.
Yeah, they obviously get a laptop, go on Bali, and you don't have to really work. But it's just not the reality of it. And like those people who do go into coaching for that reason, for the
They're in for a
lifestyle of it
fucking
rather
shock.
than the love for it. Yeah, and it's not going to last. They're not going to hang around for long. And when they find out that it's actually tough and you're dealing with other human beings, who, again, you're responsible for having a big impact on their lives. Like, so, if they have a good experience with a coach, life changing. If they have a bad experience with a coach, that just almost reiterates to them and reinforces the idea that they can't change, or that they're not good enough to get in shape or whatever. So, yeah, I think it's a big responsibility as well.
You do have those two types of coaches I see in the sort of online realm, where one can be so lackadaisical into it and not really understand what is actually coming, and the other one is the person that's been very, very educated to the point that they completely forget that human emotion actually exists, and they're like, well, this is what the latest research says and this is what you're doing. It's like, yeah, but this guy just like really enjoys training biceps, so you should probably just put them in.
Yeah, and I think that was probably something I overlooked at the start. There was a period where, for me, it was just all about like research and what works, and it was like training and nutrition and programming, and it's like without really considering like psychology, which is also huge, like the person you're dealing with, and um making sure that it fits the person that you're in front of. I think probably that was something I probably got wrong in the early stages, where it was like, this is what works, this is what evidence says, blah blah blah. Now we have an influx of that's gone the other way now with science-based lifting, which I believe we'll get into too at some stage.
So in terms of where your coaching is right now and where is it going, what do you want to see from it?
So at the minute, it's just about getting better, continuing to like invest in my education, so that I can give the best service possible, continuing to yeah, get better, and to grow and work with people who I really enjoy working with. For me at the minute, that is probably people that were in my position, that maybe more in and around intermediate lifters, who train hard, they again have that love for training, they show up consistently, but maybe don't have the structure in place to get them into the shape that they want to get to. And I believe that's them where my coaching and helping add that structure into their lives with high level support and accountability. Those are people I found at the minute who I'm really enjoying working with. As I said to you recently, I have been toying with the idea of going in person as well though, and that is mainly because it was an area I bypassed, because again, probably due to being a bit naive or being a bit ignorant to it at the time, that in-person coaching was dead, was probably a mentality that, or something that I bought into too much because other people were saying that. But it's an important skill, to like a fundamental skill, and in order for me to be the best coach, going in and training in person as well is going to be another like layer that I can add that's going to make me better. So it's something that I'm strongly considering as well, especially as I've mentioned at the start about teaching and like getting into teaching at the beginning. I thought I wanted to be a teacher. I thought I wanted to be, well, I did want to be an Irish teacher, because again, I'm passionate for the Irish language. I'm qualified as an Irish teacher, but moved over to Australia, so I'm not going to be teaching many kids Irish over here. And I realised that what I wanted isn't actually really teaching people, but it is around helping people, and that's more so through like physique development and that side of things, as opposed to like teaching in schools.
It sounds like a love for education's always been there, but you just never really knew what what it was going to be.
Yeah, I didn't know what avenue it was going to go down, and I was probably, like people always said to me, you should be a PT, like you should be a coach, and I almost like looked down on it because I was like, no, I'm like going to uni. I'm gonna be educated. I'm not gonna just do my level 3 PD qualification. Like I'm too. I've just probably thought it was like, as I was young and thought it was maybe above it in some way. But like I have the complete polar opposite mindset towards it now, and have a serious level of respect for people that do it to a high level. And like when you're in the industry, you realize how many educated people there is, like to an extremely high level. Like I've worked in schools, and I would say the best coaches that I know are far more educated, and I look up to far more than some of the teachers. So
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's across the board for any industry, and that's again another topic we can really fucking dive into at some point. But people's first experience with a teacher, the same way it is first experience with a coach, it can really put people off, and that's heartbreaking because, um, like, it takes time sometimes to find someone that you actually resonate with and gel with. Like, it might not be the most educated person, it might be someone that you just fucking really get along with. Um, and of course I'll delve into it a wee bit more when I'm talking, but like I recently sort of switched my avenue of what I want from my own body, and I'm still with my bodybuilding coach because he understands what I need. It isn't that I need like his his programming, like I'm well educated on it, like he is good with nutritional, but it's more the conversation, the education, and the accountability side of it that I need as a coach. It isn't that I need him to sit there and be like, this is the most optimal bicep curl you can do. It's like I know what that is, but I don't even like doing it, so leave me alone.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm the same. I love having a coach and having someone to learn from. And getting an insight into their practice as well. And again, like as a coach, you still need someone if you want to operate at a high standard. You still need external accountability, because we all treat ourselves like special snowflakes, and you will get. It's hard to emotionally attach from your own process if you are like if it's physique development, if it's whatever sport it is. You're like again, all top class athletes, as far as I know, have a coach. The vast majority of them anyway. And you have to be operating on a serious. You have to be like in terms of your mentality, and you have to be on a different level to be able to, I think, to self coach yourself, to a high level without getting too
from
emotionally involved in it.
yeah, no, definitely agree. From what I see, those people that self coach don't don't actually self coach whenever you really look at it and you look at what their surroundings are. Like let's use it. I know some of the listeners or viewers may not know who it is, but AJ Morse. AJ Morse
Mm.
also has like the full roster of MBW athletes around him. He has laws
Yeah,
there to help him make calls, and he
yeah,
does outsource some of that there to people whenever he really has to answer a question. So the people that out there that are telling you that they're self-coached, they're not really. It isn't a case of them that's actually sitting there and doing their own check-ins and stuff the way you think it is
mm.
and making the call. Like they will have emotional points as well. And most people that do self-coach are the people that are really hard on themselves, and a lot of the time the outcome ends up being very aggressive. It's not that they're coming in soft on stage or they're coming in
Mm.
too like shit looking. It's usually the complete opposite altogether of like, oh my god, they've ran themselves into the ground.
Yeah, and that would be me, no doubt. I would be wanting to always push for more, and I need to maximize absolute to the last iota of this,
Grab.
and yeah,
Yeah.
just trying to absolutely um max out all variables, and then it's again, it's not always the best approach. It's why having an external and outsourcing, as you said, is so valuable for, and especially I think even especially at a high level, because the stakes are a bit higher. So like you need to be making the right decisions, and no matter how skilled you are, I think if especially if it comes to physique development, bodybuilding, if you're very deep into like a contest prep, I don't think mentally you're in the right probably headspace to make high level decisions. So
It's
yeah,
just actually
probably.
occurred to me that one of the most popular topics right now is that actually it's Sam Sudik. Sam Sudik
Oh
self-coaching
yeah.
himself did an NBA,
Yeah.
and a lot of people on the higher end of it sort of not shitting on him, but giving him the advice of it might be time to actually get a coach bud because there's a couple of things here you haven't done quite well.
Yeah, and it's it's like as like I obviously love Sam Sulek. He's the man.
Hmm.
I have a lot of respect for him, and fair play to him for like getting himself to that level, self coaching, which is
Phenomenal.
in itself, and yeah, it's insane achievement. But like with his potential, I think that the general consensus is with a coach, and tweaking some things, you would elevate yourself a lot more. So it might be, I don't know if it's an ego thing or just wanting to try and do it yourself. But again, that's probably a prime example of where having a second eye can be the difference between showing up and doing well and like blowing other people out of the water, and like really maximizing your own potential.
Yeah. To be very specific to bodybuilding, it is the difference between first and second call outs.
Yeah.
Any more to add to why you coach?
I think that covers the gist of it, mate. It comes down to a passion and a love for it, but also the I just feel like it's my purpose to help other people within their journey as well, and I love every aspect of it. So yeah, and I want to do it. I want to continue learning, do it to a very high level. Like I'm only starting. Like I'm genuine. I'm only really starting. I mean, like I'm at the very starting position, in my opinion. So, like I have so much
Moves up from here.
I have so much I can only improve. I can only improve, and I have so much layers and levels to go up. Like, the best thing that makes a coach is experience, and you can have all the knowledge in the world, but it's working with the people you want to work with, and the more people you work with, at all levels, the more experience you're gaining, the better you're going to become at it. So that's what I'm working towards, and it's again there's that personal development side of things there where I just want to continue improving, getting better myself as well, and it's something that I really enjoy getting better at. So I want to see how far I can go with it, and how many people I can impact. Like for me, it's all about impact. It's not about signing someone up or getting a few quid off someone. Like it's that to me is nothing, and to me it is about the impact and the lasting impact that you can make on someone else's life in a positive way. So that's why I coach.
Awesome, mate. That's very nice. To sort of go on the back of that as well, I think with you possibly transitioning to some in-person stuff, like I remember in my maybe first 2 years, there was a coach approached me and we were chatting away, and I thought at the time he was just sort of gatekeeping online coaching, but he was like, you've probably got about 1,000 hours in person to do before you actually do call yourself even a coach.
Yeah.
Moving from PT to a coach, and I was like, that's a really interesting concept. And to be honest, I'm not saying it's necessary. I'm just saying that it is actually very, very helpful, and I would give that same advice to anybody. It makes such a big difference to be able to in-person coach people and to know what is actually going on. It's just invaluable. So it is things you wouldn't pick up across a WhatsApp message or even a Zoom call.
Yeah, and like exactly. And I think for you, probably through years and years and years of doing that, your intuition to make decisions is just going to be a lot higher because you've experienced and seen so many things in person dealing with individuals. So like that's going to stand by you in an online setting as well, because if you have never worked with someone in person and you're just going straight online, the difficulty and the challenge there is, well, you can't be in person with them and watch them training. So you have to be able to have impact through a computer screen. And if you don't know what you're looking at, because you haven't worked with enough people, or you don't really have the eye for it, then it's going to be quite difficult to coach and to create that impact. So that's why, exactly, mate, as you said, and that's why I'm considering doing it, as much as in some ways it may almost like feel like, oh, I'm taking a step back here, but then when I actually look at it, am I really? Because I haven't done it. So like it's not like I can be taking a step back. It's something that I'm not skilled at. So like I have, again, with clients and stuff, trained with them in person, but it's not the same as actually coaching and taking sessions with a whole range of like general population. So yeah, that's my...
No, I completely understand. It's the next tool to your tool belt. toolbox, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you said yourself, like you want to continue to become the best coach possible, and this is just your next step for it. Um, and don't get me wrong, there's many coaches out there that have never done in person, and they're phenomenal coaches.
Yeah,
So it's not always necessary, but I think with your mindset, you just don't want to leave anything to chance.
yeah. But like off the back of that, when I look at the best coaches, I find it hard to think of many that haven't done the in person first. Um, like the most high level coaches have had some experience with working with individuals on a 1-to-1 level in person. It was probably COVID that maybe accelerated the online coaching. Um, and that's probably why like people say it's a saturated market and people get into it probably based
Fucking hate that
off the back
so
of
much.
COVID.
Sorry.
Um,
Pet peeve of mine, mate. See, especially as an excuse whenever you see someone leaving that career path, like completely fine with it, don't care. But whenever you turn around and be like, it's just too saturated. It's like, do you know that only it's something like I don't want to rhyme off numbers and be wrong, but it's something like 20 to 30% of the UK population have a gym membership. Like it's your job to get the other 70 to 80% into the gym and understand what fitness is.
yeah, and how many of the population are like struggling with being overweight and not being comfortable or happy in their body. So I think as much as maybe there's a lot of people doing it, like there's definitely a coach out there, as you mentioned before, like in terms of gelling with other people, there's a coach out there probably for everyone. So like, you will gel with different coaches, and I think yes, it might be saturated, but it's it's saturated with a lot of shit as well. So
Yeah,
if
and
you're
that gets found out fast.
and if you're decent, so if you're decent at it and you're like and you actually care and you work hard at it, then it doesn't really matter how many other people are doing it because you're gonna have success there. Um, yeah,
I do believe it's our goal to get everyone fit and healthy, and to go out of our way to make sure that other percentage of people that's never stepped into the gym step into the gym comfortably. And I'm making a reel on this today as well. But like your future doctor right now is using ChatGPT to pass medical school, and you're still treating your body like you have a second chance.
yeah, scary that.
But yeah,
That-
so
I'll be a good read, mate. I'll be sure to check it out.
thank you, brother. Well, it's just going to be that. It's not going to be anything in depth. Hopefully, a hard hitter and a controversial one for people. Bit of a shock in
Yeah,
the system.
I mean, yeah, it offers a bit of perspective there. It's actually true as well. Um, in the world of AI as well, it's probably again, mate. There's probably things we've just touched on and like skimmed under the surface, but there's a lot of topics there to be unpacked. In terms you could just talk about some of these things for an hour long, but
So easily. So easily.
yeah,
Will we get into why I coach?
well, yeah, yeah, mate. But do we? Yeah, I suppose. Suppose we'll
Yeah,
get
we
into why
would.
you coach me because that's again. Don't want to just
It's
talk about me
important.
here. Yeah. So why do you coach?
Why do I coach? Because I absolutely fucking love it, mate. Just as you, like, so much passion for it. Always have done. Um, I think at the very start as well, whenever I was qualified as a PT, a bit of a different journey than you. I thought, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to go get a real job at some point in my life, and this is just gonna be something that I do on the side for the crack. To sitting at this point with a gym with my partner that does the same job and making a living off of it and seeing my future in the fitness industry is fucking phenomenal. Like I would love to be having this conversation with 19-year-old me that was sitting at a fucking desk in a gym wondering why has no one texted me to be their coach yet. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like,
Yeah, and it's been some journey for you as well. Like, it's unbelievable that you're doing it with your partner as well. By the way.
mate,
And
so fucking lucky. So lucky
yeah,
to be
like
doing it.
that's not many people will obviously be able to experience that. So it's great. I mean, like you've got your own gym and stuff as well, so you can probably speak a bit on that because Like in terms of where you've been at and your journey doing coaching, like you've ticked off a lot of boxes.
Yeah. So fully qualified in 19 as a personal trainer, didn't really know what I wanted to do. Joined a gym that a friend was PTing out of. Learned a lot in that gym. It was quite interesting. The gym's outlook and values are very different than what mine are these days. Sort of taught me more of what I didn't want to do, but still have good memories. There's still good coaches in there, and it gave me a drive to come and open HQ, which is my current gym. Um, but yeah, I think fitness really kicked off for me maybe around 21 is whenever I really realized that like there was a lot more to it. Prior to that, there I was just doing your hours upon hours on the gym floor. Didn't really understand programming, diet. I did a photo shoot at a young age, about 19. Got lean, realized that I had a decent, half decent physique, was very good and disciplined at doing things. But again, didn't even have a coach at that point. Really had a wee bit of guidance from the guy that owned the place. And then to hit 21, COVID hit. We were coaching people out of a shed in my back garden, and to think, okay, well, I've just taken 3 guys through photo shoots during COVID in a shed. What can I do? And I was like, okay, well, the plan was always whenever, well, it wasn't always this year, but I remember having the conversation with Rihanna and being like, we had a wee bit of a disagreement with the owner in the other gym, and he sort of left me feeling a wee bit fucking shit and unseen for the work that I'd done. And off the back of it, I was like, I'm just gonna go open my own gym. Rihanna's sitting there and she's like, good idea. And like, it was like, oh fuck, like I can't believe I just said that out loud. And Rihanna she kept me accountable. And again, another amazing reason to why like having somebody in the industry with you that is your partner is everything. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot to unpack there as well about trying to balance like the relationship between us being like, well, engaged now, to actually being a business partner and trying to separate that there, going back and forth. And there was even points where Rihanna would have been like, would you ever coach me? And like, you're having to turn around and be like, no, like it isn't just a dynamic that we would ever have.
Yeah.
It's understanding that there and being mature to it as well.
Yeah.
Which fuck, you learn the hard way. But yeah, sort of fast forward now, did another photo shoot, had a coach, had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coaches since I was 21, 27. Nice and 6 years, 5 coaches. The first 2 were like not very long lived. Held me down any whenever I was quite young, and then I jumped on with Ross Byrne thinking that was going to be like, he was the guy to take me through bodybuilding prep. And again, like I say, sometimes you just have to search the market, even though that Pro Coach are one of the best coaching platform or coaching, what would you call it? Coaching. Sorry, my brain's a
Yeah.
wee bit much today. Um,
I've lost the word as well. I know what you mean though. Like
it's not a platform, but team, like coaching team.
yeah, coaching team.
Yeah. Me and Ross just didn't really gel very well, and he is coaching high level athletes as well. Like, why would he care about some wee fella that's potentially going to place first in a novice natural bodybuilding competition in the future? So I understand that. Not that he didn't care, but you could just see his efforts were elsewhere. Prior to that, there, whenever I did the photo shoot at 21, I was coached by Matt McCullough, again another great coach, but
Mm.
I didn't see the relationship going being what I needed at the time. Not like, I'm still very friendly with Matt, I'm still very friendly with Helmy, and I actually met Ross Byrne in person whenever I was competing in Lisbon at his show. So like, I'm still friendly with all these guys, but long term I just didn't see the coaching relationship lasting. Jumped on with Finn Kelly, smashed out the sort of coaching, or sorry, not the coaching, the bodybuilding prep, and like every single year has been invaluable to my coaching since I was 21, and
Mm.
investing in myself and investing in people. And yeah, like from a very young age, I just think my reason for coaching is because I just genuinely love helping people, and especially whenever I've been through the process and know that I could have fine-tuned it so much more. To watch somebody, and this goes from a very young age, actually I used to coach people how to skateboard, um, to go from like me fucking like near breaking my ankle multiple times doing tricks to being able to get them to do it in the space of a day was like, fuck, I really enjoyed this. And of course it was the endorphin hit and all, but just to have that impact, to know that that person is always going to be like, fuck, I actually appreciate that. I just want to help people too. So
Yeah.
from skateboarding to football, coach football at a young age too, and then getting into PT, and it's just been amazing.
Unreal, mate. What a journey. And like the first thing that jumped out at me was the fact that, see, when you said I'm going to open my own gym, you probably, Brianna probably would have been well within her rights to say, like, to take a logical approach to it and go, wise up, like that's not like feasible at the minute. But the fact she's actually
I'm
supporting you,
so
you know what I
like
mean?
I'm pretty open about everything in my life. Like financially, at this point in life, I'm sitting with a 1999 Honda Civic and probably about 400 quid. And I'm like, I'm going to open the gym, and Rihanna was just like, ah, come on, let's go for
Go
it.
for it. Yeah, the fact they supported you with that though says a lot as well, I think. And because it's very easily, like, logic would have said, right, you're not doing that, let's actually rethink things. But all in with you supported it and it worked out. So just shows you, like, having that support network is invaluable, and that's set you off as well, and then what you've done to follow. Um, and like another thing you mentioned, like in terms of some of them coaches, obviously all high level, but it just shows as well what we mentioned in terms of, like, not every coach you're going to gel with. It's about personality types as well, and working with someone that's gonna, again, you're gonna have to form a relationship with a person. You're gonna have to be able to bounce off them. So it's not just about, like, getting a program and away you go. Like, you have to be able to work with these people on a very, like, personal level, I think.
I think a good coach will get a chat with you, especially at the minute. A lot of the people sign up with me are people that I know in person, but anyone that I've ever had to sort of sign up that's been not within my region, or maybe I don't have any sort of prior knowledge of, I always get a call, and to be honest, the call isn't really. I know people do sales calls and all this. Like, it isn't a sales call, and it isn't for me to sit there being like, "What's your previous history?" It's to know if we actually gel. If we don't
Yeah.
gel, like, it's just not going to work really. And I would say I'm quite good with the sort of psychology side of stuff and figuring people out. If I know what you need, I will point you in the direction of a coach I know does that. Like, my coaching
Yeah.
style is very particular. There are certain things I don't do. Like, I am not militant at all. Like, I don't stand here shouting at you whenever you do things wrong. And if that's somebody that you need, then but I'll send you to someone. It's not going to be me.
Yeah.
So she's Rihanna.
Yeah. That's
She's
fair.
very very hard on people, which is good.
Yeah, she.
Yeah, it's like an ongoing joke. Like, don't get me wrong, she definitely has a soft touch and she understands when certain things need to be approached, but she does not take shit, sir, at all.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know. We've talked. Me and you've done this already. Like, we've talked about it. Is there anything I've left out there that's interesting to talk about?
But yeah, actually, yeah, something I would actually ask you, like, you've done so much, obviously, starting off skateboarding, you've competed in bodybuilding, you've done you've done photo shoots, you've coached right through as well, open your own gym. Now you've got to the point where you're actually um you're coaching, like, a lot of what I've noticed, like, combat athletes, like fighters. That's very unusual. Like, that's not something you see often, especially with someone like from a physique background as well. So speak a bit on that and how that's actually came about, because I actually don't know.
So, mate, you hit the nail on the head. One of so I'll get into where it sort of came from, but that topic has went around so many times, especially whenever I was on bodybuilding prep. It was, why is the bodybuilder coaching the fighters? And, like, trying to explain that to people that, like, I'm not I'm not a bodybuilding coach. I don't mind coaching bodybuilding, but
Mm.
fuck me, just anything to do with athleticism, it really interests me. I think that all people are athletes and they don't even realize it. Like, I think athlete's a very gate kept term as well. You don't need to be like high performing at world level. Like, athleticism really is sort of just your ability to move, really, and your ability to output force in certain ways. But yeah, It actually, I believe that my coaching success is all down to a client called Patrick Scanlon, and that people will know why. Whenever I say that, a lot of my clients know why, because Patrick has done everything with me, everything. He was one of my first clients that had a big transformation, going from, like, I think he went from 110 or 15 kilo the whole way down to 80, and that was a massive one. And then whenever COVID hit, Patrick wanted to do a photo shoot, so we got Patrick to do a photo shoot, and then COVID ends. Patrick goes back to boxing, similar to yourself, always boxed from a very young age. He's very good, he's very, very good. Doesn't carry through with boxing, finds out what Muay Thai is, and the whole way through of every time Patrick has made a decision to be like, I want to go do this here, he does fully commit to it. And like, it's not going to joke at the minute, he isn't committing to anything. But he committed to a Muay Thai fight, and we got him through that there, and I absolutely loved training him for that. Don't get me wrong, there's no way we did it perfect the first time round, but the education side of it and learning about it was class. But the one thing I don't talk about enough on social media is every single time Patrick has went through some sort of like big goal, he has always sent people to me from it. So whenever he started losing weight, he was all like, because he's a barber. I'm actually in the barbers right now in the gym. But Patrick barbers out of my gym at now. But back in the day, like, he just talks to hundreds of people per day, and he would just like, he'd be like, yeah, my coach, my coach, my coach, my coach, and it. I think if I was to write out the wee tree of hierarchy of every single client that's came to me, I think about 5 of them, mate, have just appeared without Patrick being there somehow. It's been like a friend of his cousin or something. You're just like, this is absolutely mental. So like, I actually owe a lot of my coaching success to him, but that's how I got into the Muay Thai route. Patrick did a Muay Thai fight. I ended up on with a very young prospect called Dean Graham, and again, he was in the same boat. He's a very a likable guy. People know him, and he referred a lot of people to me, and a lot of them ended up being Muay Thai fighters. And the better I got with them, and I fucking absolutely love that they just give me the time of day to let me figure things out with them, guinea pig things, and they're class athletes for it. Like,
And is it something you foresee yourself actually continuing to do, in terms of continuing to actually help fighters and then go down that avenue yourself, like maybe possibly compete in a competition, or what's your future plans for that?
yeah, so recently transitioned from the plans of going back to bodybuilding in 2028. Not saying that it's not something I'll go back to at some point in the future, but it's on the back burner for now, just with how life is. Bodybuilding does take a large part of your life and a large commitment. I've done it, and I was wanting to do it again just to refine everything I had done. But with plans I have in my life, it's just not going to be feasible right now. Muay Thai is feasible. It's something I have a large interest in. It's also surrounding me right now. So I thought, why not just jump in while it's there? So picked up a Muay Thai. I do want to fight at some point in the future. I don't know when that is. I definitely need to get good enough first. I need to do my time. I enjoy the journey way more than I enjoy the outcome. It was the same with bodybuilding. And I'm just enjoying training every day. And yes, don't get me wrong, I don't ever think I'm going to be the guy that niches down to being like, I am the fucking fighting coach. Because even with bodybuilding, I never wanted to be that. I want to help people across the board. I don't care what your goal is. And like, if anyone sees it with the whole fin timer stuff, like, I want to take you from being part-timer, whether you are the guy that just has a job in Tesco's and wants to get in better shape for going to fucking Ibiza, I've got you. Or if you're a world-class athlete that is sort of stuck stagnant at this current point and just needs those 1% gains, I've got you. So I want to take everyone from part-timer to fin-timer, and that's my big spiel. That's my big marketing technique, you know, buying people in. But yeah, I absolutely love this game, and I really, really I do want to do it for the rest of my life. I want to improve people across the board, and whatever life throws at me, you know, I'm just going to keep doing that there. So
Love it.
yeah.
Love it. So helping everyone, all types of different people, continuing to do that rather than niching down, which a lot of people do. Fair play. It's like more challenging to do that, because you have to obviously wear, like, as a coach, you have to wear loads of hats. But what you're doing, you like probably even more so that, because you have to be able to deal with every type of individual. And fair play, mate. It probably speaks to your desire for actually coaching, but your ability to coach different types of people is unusual.
There.
Don't know, mate. That was unusual as well.
That's right. That's what we're just
I think it
off.
was your
You
iPhone.
do it.
Your iPhone.
Oh. Oh yes, I know exactly what's happened here.
You're all good, mate.
Do you know what? Do you know what? The camera switched. It is what it is. We'll just continue with how it is.
It's all good. All
But
good,
yeah,
mate.
I couldn't agree more. Like I know that people will see it as a bit of a cop out too, of like not just niching down on something, but at
Nah.
the end of the day, like I can do these jobs very well, and it is very interesting as well. It definitely keeps my job very, very interesting. You know, I have a bodybuilding client on right now, and what he's experiencing compared to the Muay Thai athletes and they're all actually fucking stress levels are high, but they're all competing in the same weekend. The
Yeah.
bodybuilders and the Muay Thai athletes. So you have to make sure that you're wearing those caps really well. You can't just like treat them exactly the same. They are two completely different athletes and two completely different outcomes. One is fueling for pure performance, and I always said this about bodybuilding. Bodybuilding's the only sport I know of that you're fueled, or you're not fueled well enough to perform, but you're expected to perform, which is interesting.
Yeah. Mic drop. That was a mic drop. That was a mic drop
Yeah.
moment.
Thank you.
Like, yeah, it's impressive, mate. I have to say, I'm impressed. Like with that. Like I for myself, I would love to be able to coach like competitive bodybuilding at a high level, like in the future. A long way away, like years down the line. But like, I almost want to double down on that and niche down now, because like I'm super like just in like really in deep into that, like and that's without even having competed yet. But just the like almost what you said about the journey of it and the lifestyle of it, as opposed to the actual outcome, because the outcome of bodybuilding in of itself doesn't really doesn't really light me on fire like at all. I might
You're not
enjoy it.
into standing on stage on a song with fake tan. Are you
Yeah, man,
gay?
who would have known? Like obviously, obviously, but when you're not involved in bodybuilding, that's so alien that I would have been like, what is that about? Like, and not understood it. But
Made it
for
look
me,
so weird from the outside in, and
yeah.
especially, I tell you right now, especially whenever your parents come watching it.
But for me, it's like it's not about that. It's about the process of it and the extremities of it and the challenge and the pursuit of better and the pursuit of discipline that comes with it. That's what I love. And don't get me wrong, maybe when it comes to standing on stage with a thong and tan and looking jacked, I'll actually I'll like it, enjoy it, and I'll maybe want to keep improving. And I might get a bit of a buzz off it. Like at the end of the day, I have really had an identity as being an athlete in the past, and competing and being competitive is something that is within me. But it's not that is like, I'm not doing it for that, pretty much. I'm doing it for everything else that comes with it, and the development through just like living that lifestyle, and the structure and routine it's given me has been like massive. It's like it's probably been life changing for me. But I'll give it a good crack as well when it comes around to it.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it. Leave nothing on the table, and like to wrap up what you've set up just a wee bit. The journey is always better than the destination. If you're doing it for the destination, you might be doing it for the wrong reasons, in my opinion.
yeah. Well,
What are your plans with, just quickly, what are your plans with bodybuilding in the future? Just because you've touched on it. Of course, I've already bodybuilt, so we're on opposite ends of it. And we'll definitely delve into it a wee bit more in the future. But
mine is to compete early next year. Just keep improving. I'm in an improvement phase now. I'm in the process of just building muscle as much as possibly can. And then I'm going to going to start prepping. Maybe August potentially.
And naturally.
Yes. So I want to do a natural show, and really, like, I think doing it that way is what's gonna really bring out more layers of discipline, and like that's gonna be a challenge in of itself, and there's gonna be no shortcuts there. So like to actually be an athlete and go through that process and doing it naturally without assistance is only gonna be a good thing. There's only gonna be like positive outcomes from that. So yeah, definitely plan on doing it naturally. I have no other real like going down the hand route and stuff isn't something that's really even entered my mind, if I'm honest. So compete naturally, obviously, and compete naturally, like before anything else, I think makes sense. So even if you were going to go down that route, I think doing it naturally and the amount of discipline that's going to give you, as opposed to if you just, obviously some people have done it and done it successfully, but jumping like right away with going down the enhanced route without competing maybe naturally, and really maybe not having the discipline and using the drugs as a bit of a crutch potentially. So I
That's
think
a mic drop right there.
well, yeah, I think it makes sense. So, like, I think if like I'd say, like, if you're an athlete and you've competed for years upon years naturally, and then you do go down the enhanced route, like that's gonna stand by you so much, because you've built that discipline up naturally. Like it's not an easy gig, at all. So
No, AJ actually said that to Finn, because of course, like, I don't know if people know me, they probably know who Finn is, we Finn Healy. But AJ Morse actually said that to him when we were chatting away to him. He said, you know, like your ability to compete at a level as a natural competitor is only going to aid it whenever you actually do transition into the enhanced side of bodybuilding, which he has, and you know he does have his foundations down. He is quite young, and it's amazing to see it. Like that is an athlete that me and you're watching right now, and I get to actually like be there by his side, but he is going to the Olympia, and that's you heard it here first, folks. He is.
I think it's a mask in there. I'd say I would credit that too. I think he's flat out on the mask.
Yeah, I think it's what 4 scoops a day, so it is, of Iron Elite as well.
just constant farts, it's just gas like from it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is restart, so I don't even know what we were on time wise. Have you got time?
Yeah.
Wee bit of time?
I've plenty of time, mate, and keep rolling. We'll go into questions. We'll have a few questions, I believe.
Yes, sir. It's not a question, but I just wrote this down while you were chatting away. Do you think it's a necessary evil to go through that period in the gym where you are just a wee bit of a meathead and shift weight about at the very start? You know, the way you were saying, getting in with a bit of ego and hitting your 1 rep maxes and stuff. Do you think that your physique development has differed? You know, whenever people talk about like that graininess, that hardness of hard work, like I do actually see that in physiques. Like, see the kids these days that have went straight from nothing to the optimal bodybuilder. There's a wee bit of something missing in their physiques.
Yeah,
comparatively to
the foam roller up the arm and the cuffs, like, and the it looks like a bit of a bondage. That's gone too far the other way. But I think so. Like it was by no means optimal, which is a buzzword these days too. But it was by no means optimal, and I would have made a lot more progress if I had been a bit smarter but didn't know any better. But I also think it did build that. That probably gripped a bit more, but I believe I already had that because I was boxing for 10 years. So for me, like, weight training, lifting weights was easy in comparison to getting punched in the face, and getting, like, stepping into the ring with your mates all watching, and you have to perform. Like, for me, like, the amount of toughness and things that it requires to compete in a boxing competition, for me then, like, that ability to, like, train hard and work in the gym wasn't that as difficult. Like, for some people, the reason they can't train with intensities because they just don't have that in them. Like they work hard, and like once it gets a bit uncomfortable, and maybe stop and stuff. But I think if you've done like a combat sport, like you've really like you've done that in abundance. So lifting weights and going to train the failures, not really. But I don't know. It's an interesting one. Like 1 rep maxing and doing all that stuff. Did it help my physique development? No, but did it help me in terms of being willing just to work hard and push myself? And there was enjoyment there as well. So I think it's about finding a fine balance, like between, you don't want to go to that extreme, but you also want to make sure you keep enjoyment at the forefront when you're training. Because training for me,
not said enough.
It's about having fun. Like you're having fun, you should be having fun in there. If that's all based on like the most optimal strength curve and you're setting things up, for me that's more of a nightmare, and you end up getting paralysis by analysis. You're not going to be enjoying as much. You're overthinking things. So you have to, like, there is a balance between what's optimal for you and what is also enjoyable, because if you don't enjoy it, ultimately you're not going to put as much effort into it, and you're not going to stay as consistent with it. So enjoyment is equals optimal to me in a way, but it's about, again, you still want to be smart with your exercise selection, your execution, and the movements you're picking are important, and the order of those exercises to get the most, especially when it comes to like muscle building, physique development. But yeah, there's a lot to be said for the enjoyment side of it, and it's, for a lot of people, is it as enjoyable doing a single arm cable pull down as opposed to maybe like a heavy deadlift, for example. Arguably that.
I think the topic you sort of touched on there is really interesting, out of like, because we're sort of switching right now. I've always trained in the gym by myself. I've always just trained weights, never really had a sport per se. I've always been into something. I've always played a bit of football here and there. I did a bit of jiu-jitsu. Honestly, like you name it, I've done it on the side as a wee bit of a side quest. But right now, transitioning from lifting weights into fighting sport, I'm in the same boat as you, but it's different, because you've seen the side of fighting that I actually talk to my athletes about quite often, where you're on a pedestal. It's very, very fucking like daunting sometimes, you know what I mean? You have to perform, people expect certain things from you. And I like they're sort of envious now, because they're like, you're getting to enjoy that from the start. I wish I was there again, where there was no expectations on me anymore. And I said the same thing about lifting weights. They said the same thing. They said, like, this part of the week where they come in for their S&C session in person with me, they're like, this is the most enjoyable part of my training. And I'm like, that's mad, because I got to a point where, with lifting weights, towards the back end of like my preps and stuff like that there, where I felt that same unbelievable pressure to perform every single session, and that sort of dampened my love a wee bit. It definitely created, like you say, creates a lot of different attributes in your life, but I'm enjoying that switch at the moment, and I think that's a interesting sort of contrast of what different people experience.
Yeah, I think like there's definitely healthy pressure where you, like, if there's pressure on you to perform, or pressure on you've got a deadline to achieve a goal, you're going to work hard and you're going to get come to a decent outcome, because and it's going to, like, there's nothing as really, what's the word,
Pressure is privilege.
but there's nothing as like damning as almost a timeline, and there's an there's a target, so you're working towards something that puts a healthy level of pressure on you, because if you don't have like an outcome, or you don't have a timeline, then you can end up just wandering then.
No, 100%. You see it. People lose sight of what they're actually out there getting. Especially, you know yourself. People join our coaching sometimes, and their goal is a long bit out, whether it is weight loss, weight gain, like, or muscle gain, or they do come to us for a bodybuilding prep. Like, I always said, this is the one thing I never expected to hear whenever I first started the bodybuilding coach was, yeah, but 2 years time. I was like, I want to compete now. I want to compete this year. And they're like, you've got another year at least of like solidifying certain, and don't get me wrong, best thing I could ever done. It definitely did make me a better bodybuilder in the long run, but fuck me, it was just a bit heartbreaking.
Yeah,
You're so ready, and to be told the honest opinion and to be told the best possible approach is going to be you're taking a year to actually learn how to be a bodybuilder first
yeah.
is
It's not one of those sports where more rounds and doing more doesn't necessarily makes you better. You almost have to take extended periods of time off and um, actually working on the physique. It's a completely different dynamic to majority of sports where more time in there. Like if we take boxing as the example, more time in the ring, more time like sparring and doing the rounds and stuff is going to make you better. But when it comes to bodybuilding, you almost have to be willing to take a
time
bit
is
of
your limiting factor.
yeah. Um, yeah, because like after I done the photo shoot there at the end of October, I was like, I was amazing. There's some buzz. I'm gonna compete now in 2026, and I was like, I need more time. I didn't like. I was probably a bit naive to timings of shows and stuff because I didn't really look into it. When I looked into it, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna need way more time. It's gonna be after the early 2027. But
Hmm.
thankfully, like I enjoy the actual process of it. Um, so is this being like a first proper off season as someone that plans to compete? I'm enjoying it. Because it's my first time doing it as well. So there's that buzz there as well, and get
That's
the
another thing as well. There's no real aspect. What word am I looking for there? There's no real pressure on you just yet either. You're
yeah,
you're enjoying
exactly.
every part of it.
Yeah, and when it's new to you, like you do enjoy it, and it's that learning, that experience, and if you don't enjoy the process, especially when it comes to something like bodybuilding, there's no point doing it, really, is there?
Hmm. Just a bit of a slip off of our current topic. I think that's a big part of bodybuilding that people just do not understand well enough at all. See, as a natural bodybuilder, we genuinely don't have a plateau. The plateau is time. Like it just the dial moves a wee bit slower than what you expect. And if you start bodybuilding late at life, like for us, we did start quite late comparatively to most. You've got your Finn Healy's, who
Yeah,
even as a natural bodybuilder, like you just cruise up a wee bit. And you're constantly moving up that dial, and things are going to get in place and are going to get in the way in life, and you're going to work around them, and you might throw it off, but your natural progression is never going to stop. The thing that's going to stop you is it's just time in the sport, really, and that is why we see people transitioning very quickly from natural bodybuilding to enhanced because it's very easy to increase that rate of progress, and
yeah,
a big part of it is that you do sacrifice parts of your life and your health, but you have to remember, like most PEDs are rapidly going to rapidly age you, and that's what's happening. You're getting put in a time chamber. You're growing at a rapid rate, and that's what you want from it. That's completely fine, but understand that as a natural, you're never going to stop growing. There's no endless potential. You see the natural bodybuilders, you're going to get bigger, you're going to get better, you're going to get stronger. It's just can you stay consistent long enough with it, and maybe do you have long enough in the sport as well? Is the big
yeah.
question.
It's just going to take a lot. It's just going to take a lot longer. You have to be a lot more patient. There's a lot more delayed gratification there. It's not definitely not. You're not getting anything instant there. Like so. Um, yeah.
An extra 3 pound of muscle in 2 years.
Yay. But I
Look,
don't
there's an
know.
extra there's an extra glute striation this year. Oh my god. Oh, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, but yeah, sorry, we went off on one there. Cues, questions. That
Question.
a few people. Yeah, we have quite a lot of questions. We're not going to get through them all, unfortunately.
Nah. We'll pick the best one.
Um, yeah, yeah, we definitely will. I have a good one here that I definitely think we could delve into. We sort of touched on there, but opinions on the new generation of science-based lifters. You sort of went in on that there right away. I kind of agree with the route you were taking there. I think that there's a lot being missed when it comes to like hard work and the intensity of lifting, etc. And there's something to be said about the ability to switch out a compound movement for something that's very optimal with a daisy chain, a cuff, and a foam roller. It's not gonna do the same thing. Your body isn't gonna react the same way, especially as a newbie. Like we just don't have. For me and Amit probably. if we transition to some of that more optimal lifting, it's because we're going to get that extra bit of a percentage out of it because we've been doing it long enough that our body has the ability to recruit muscle fibers to go into the more science based or science side of it, like the motor neurons and stuff like that there. But for somebody just starting out, you don't have access to that. I always explain it to younger lifters like the limitless pill. You know, like we don't have full access to our brain, and you take the limitless pill, and oh fuck me, you've got full access to everything. Like the access to everything comes with more time. So time doing the basics and the foundations is gonna be much better for you comparatively to doing some of those more optimal lifts.
And I definitely fell into the trap at one stage as well in trying to optimize everything, and that's why I can speak from experience. It wasn't that enjoyable because
It's a full circle.
You're thinking more than you're just getting in there and executing. It's taking away from your enjoyment. It's probably taking away from your intensity too by the time like you're setting stuff up and stuff. But like when it comes to science based lifting, it's not actually arguably really science based at all, is it? Like the people that we're thinking of, like I think there's evidence based lifting, which is probably what I would say.
Every good coach does.
Yeah, that's what I would say is what I stand for. Like you want to base off evidence, but you also again you want that you're working with individuals and you're again what we've spoken about to no end about enjoyment and but yeah, so it's not really science based though. Like it's almost offensive now to call you science based because it's associated with being like a teenager with no muscle and curly hair and training in groups of 4 or 5. Do you know what I mean? That's
me, the complete opposite. 27 with no hair
and a load of muscle. But yeah, that's like, but like evidence based is as I would say is what you should be aiming for, not going down a rabbit hole of trying to keep up to date with every single study, because these studies aren't like if you're going down that route, you don't actually understand studies, I don't think, because there's a lot of nuance involved as well.
Like me and you could release a study today.
Yeah, and like a lot of these studies aren't being performed on trained lifters as well, which is again another thing. But
it's actually something I say all the time to people. Like you don't know who the fuck that was performed on. Like it'd be Karn from down the road.
Yeah.
It's
I think it was Eric Helms as well who conducts a lot of these studies. Don't hold me on that, but like I was listening to a podcast and one of the guys who conducts the studies was just saying like it's very hard to get them to train hard because of the environment that they're in. You know, when you're like when it's a study, and maybe say you can't listen to music or there's these variables, like it's hard to be able to bring levels of intensity out when it's in that sort of environment. It's not like you're just going to the gym and training like normal people training. It's like in a very sort of controlled environment. So
yeah, it's almost like a laboratory setting. It isn't your hardcore gym that you're going to, the mecca of bodybuilding. Yeah, no, I completely get that. I believe human emotion is what's gonna break every study, because you know you'll probably have already had it, but you give somebody the best research possible of why they need to be doing like exercise and health and nutrition this way, they turn around and go, I just don't like it.
yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I know. But like
the muscle docs said it best when. Sorry, go ahead.
I think it's just important to stay up to date with current literature and actually have a deep have an understanding of it, but also it's not the be all end all, and like it's not absolute. So, always take it with a grain of salt, and like the training principles always remain the same, which is train hard, do as many sets as you can do as much hard sets as you can within the time frame that you have allocated, and you're gonna do well off doing that. Like that's a very as a very short way of putting it, a very basic way of putting it. But that's like that's what it comes down to. Like, that's the bare bones of it. So, like train hard with high intensity, good execution, do it for a long period of time, and that's it. That's a very simple, dumbed down way of putting it. But like there is no real secret or there is no real hack. Like it's just hard work for a serious amount of time.
Yeah, like I'm sure you see them all the time, all the research studies and stuff, especially on Instagram these days. They're sort of fed to you in very quick ways. But you don't have to apply them all. And do you know what? If you're the guy that's applying them all, fucking fire away. Me and Emma get to sit here and see how it all turns out. And then whenever you make all your mistakes, we'll apply it properly,
Yeah.
if applicable. If applicable.
Yeah.
Fire away. You got a question?
Yes. One of my questions, it's quite a good one, is a go-to protocol for training side delts in terms of exercises, sets, and reps. For
Okay.
me,
I was gonna say I am your man for this because I actually grew some side delts in the last year, which I never ever had.
right, go ahead. You go
So
first then, because I don't have delts, so it's over to you here.
you you don't.
No.
You're gonna go all in there. See where this is how you do it. I don't have any, but this is definitely how you're gonna go with it. Bit of an interesting approach for this year. An approach I took for any weak body part in the last 2 years that's made such a big difference. But you just have to earn the right to be able to lift heavy. Is a massive one. A lot of the time, especially when it comes to say delts, and we look at the anatomy, whenever we do, let's say, a lateral raise, which is probably one of the most used one for say delt, the trap can take over very easily there. It is laying it up for the trap to take over, and a lot of people tend to use very heavy weight, which would probably, if you have quite dominant traps, I definitely do have quite dominant traps comparatively to my side delts, it would take over quite fast. And I'm not saying that it's the main driver in that movement. Like if you're going to continue working with it, they are going to grow. But I actually found going to a bit of a lighter weight, spending a bit more time earning the stripes with the movements, made such a massive
Sorry, go ahead.
made such a massive difference in the long term of
Hold on a minute.
you're okay, man. Don't stress. All good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it made a massive difference in just having, I know, like that mind to muscle connection and being able to drive up the sort of the weights. I'm still not lifting anything that's overly impressive, but I would say with a muscle that's lacking, earn your stripes with it, do your work with it. It doesn't always have to be heavy right off the bat, and pick movements that just feel right.
Yeah. I
Like
think
go through them. You see people doing movements all the time that are just popularized. Two movements I absolutely love for my side delt is just the dumbbell side raise, and I think both of us run it still to this day. But the cable crucifix raise is phenomenal. And
yeah.
then to sort of dive into the sort of more research based stuff, I've seen Jeff Nippard recently did a a bit of a piece on a neutral grip overhead press being very good for activation of the medial delt. But so I always have something like that in. I love a wee frontal plane sort of overhead press. It's great for the scapular, gets the shoulders moving well, challenges you a wee bit differently. So those three exercises for the side delts are my go-to.
I agree with you in terms of higher rep range for side delts. I feel like if you go really like heavy weight, low rep on it's like a small muscle group like that, it is very hard to. I feel to find the actual neurological like connection to your side delt. So I think going a bit later, performing a bit more reps, still taking that the failure is gonna be the smarter play when it comes to training side delts. In terms of exercise selection, like you like the dumbbell lateral raise. When like we've spoke there about optimal, that's probably on paper not the most optimal because it's like really heavy when you're fully contracted and you're not really getting much resistance towards the bottom of it. But to be fair, I do prefer going down the more optimal route when it comes to side delts and lateral raises, just because it feels so much better and get a better connection from it. So for me, like you said, the crucifix lateral raise, I perform that as like a like upright sitting down on the bench, and then I perform it as well lying down and just lying flat on the floor, and I find performing that as a lateral raise like challenges the delt throughout significant range of motion. It's stable, it feels great, and I can take it to failure safely. So like I think that's the same when it comes to all exercise. If you can train it to failure and create a stable environment, then and if you get on well with that exercise, I think that's the important thing. Like, and it's gonna vary person to person. But for me, land lateral raise, crucifix lateral raise, I don't mind the odd machine when it comes to side delts. Like
I'm the same boat with you there as well. Just before you
something.
sort of go on there, see the way you've got both of those in, just for our more educated listeners. Are they different resistance profiles? So
Yeah.
are you targeting like a lengthened, and then are the other one, are you targeting more of a shortened?
Yeah, the crucifix, because it's going from like a low to high plane, it's going to be heavier in that contracted position in the shortened range. So it's more of a shortened challenge. It's similar to the profile of a dumbbell lateral raise, whereas a land lateral raise is more of it's heavier in the stretch. It's
Hmm.
heavier when
Lengthened.
you're at the start and the length range when you're not starting position. Um, just because of like the moment arm, there's a larger moment arm, like the distance between your joint that's moving, being the shoulder joint, and the line of force, which is like the cable. So
Hmm.
it's just there's a bit of nuance there, but I would perform the crucifix at the start of the movement, because you do lose that ability to get short as you progress throughout a session, and I'll perform that land raise actually. It's good, like you can definitely do it at the start because it's going to help warm up your delts, but I also have it towards the end of a different session, um, because like it's more of a lengthened challenge, so I'm still going to get a decent bit out of it, even though by the end of that session I'm probably a bit more fatigued. So that's just where like having a baseline and a good understanding of resistance profile and strength curves is definitely helpful in order for you to get the most out of your training. But they're
I
probably
think
two of the main exercises where I still would use a cuff. So
yeah.
the cuffs will never die. The land lather race for me is the goat.
And is that science based then, since it has a cuff?
Absolutely. So there's no muscle being built because there's a cuff being used. But I like it, so I'm
You
gonna
can
keep.
actually see that, to be fair, mate, in your physique.
Yeah, exactly. But I like doing it, and it feels good. So I'm gonna keep doing it. To
I
no
mean, I
end.
think that's a it's a brilliant point as well that you sort of made there. Like, you've picked an exercise you enjoy, and then you've made it optimal. You haven't picked the optimal exercise right off the bat, you know. And then again with my program, it's very similar. I have a shortened biased or contractual biased lateral raise, which is the dumbbell for me. I know that the resistance profile is very different, but it's just something that I enjoy doing, you know. It's something that I like, and I get a lot from it. But it is also taking me time using the same exercises that you're talking about right now,
Yeah,
to get back to dumbbell side raises. They actually
yeah,
get what I need from them, and
yeah,
then same again, just sort of using that more lengthened based lateral raise. Go for it.
yeah. I think um, like I program dumbbell lat raises for clients as well for a bit of fun. They enjoy it. But I also think, see if you start off just doing dumbbell lat raises and you actually haven't really learnt the skill of training your side delt well and like getting that connection to your side delts, you're probably not gonna perform it. You see the side lateral, like the dumbbell raise butchered like all the time. Yeah, you're just swinging to no, but for like, and it's not doing anything really. It's all traps um. So yeah, I think actually getting good and getting skilled and finding the connection on like a cable setup, and actually like once I done that for the first time, I was like, wow, I've never felt my delts working like this. And I was doing dumbbell lat raises for years before that. Um, and then it's getting the connection, and I can go back to dumbbell lat raise now, and I know what I need to do. Like I know, and I know what plane to work in. I know, um, yeah, and I know how to get the most out of the exercise, like with that, using that tool, I suppose.
I think in the long term as well, you sort of said about the machines. It's something that again took me time, but I've actually been able to transition onto the machines now and still have that good connection. I think that those machines, those sort of side delt machines are earned. Again, they're something that you're
Yeah,
going to have to
seen on
spend
film.
time on before you can get round to them, because it
Yeah,
is a very can be a very trap dominant one in the
yeah.
long term. I had a question there. Would have put you on the spot a wee bit. Um, Completely lost it though.
It's
Might
all
come
right
back to it.
with the machines. So most of them I think aren't very good. Like, and I don't really connect that well with them. Um,
Oh,
but
sorry, sorry. That's exactly what it was. Just before we go on, see if you have a client that you program a cable crucifix for, and this is probably a problem I come into quite often. What is
mm,
your solution for them not wanting to take up a full cable stack in a busy gym?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of ways you could have an alternative there, alternative exercise that's gonna just use dumbbells, easy. Like you can
Yeah,
probably
go to a single arm, something
yeah,
like that.
you could probably use a dumbbell, or you could do like a single arm variation, um, of this like you could do like a single arm Y raise almost, with the cable, but you're probably taking up a bit of space doing that as well. So probably just go with the dumbbells in that instance, or wait, or work in with someone, or like assert your authority and just get in there and claim it. Stick your water bottle
That
down.
that's my answer. A lot of the time is that you just need to become comfortable, like understand that the gym's for everybody and that exercise, like it's not gonna take you fucking long. You like me and you're in the probably in the same boat. Like we're not programming 5 sets of lateral raises on the cable crucifix right off the bat. Maybe you are, and I'm actually shitting on you here, but it's usually 2, maybe 3 working sets max.
Yeah. No, but you do take that into consideration, like the time that your client trains is important as well, probably overlooked, and the accessibility to certain movements as well. So long as you can do a movement like that, no issues, then it's going to be a good one to have in your arsenal for sure. But like I don't mind if it's me and the gym is super busy and I'm in a rush. I'll change, like I'll swap an exercise and just make sure that I still take the exercises that do go to failure, and use good execution. And then like you're sorted that way. I don't think there's not really worth overthinking too much.
Yeah, mate, that's another great point as well. Just another mic drop sort of situation. Like a good coach will give you a good program. A great coach will give you a program that actually works for your gym,
Yeah.
whether it is the time or even the setup makes sense. Like it doesn't make sense for you to. I don't know if you ever trained in Pure Gym in Belfast. Whenever you were
Mm.
at any point,
Unfortunately,
yeah. So it's not St Anne's. What's the other one called? Adelaide.
Adelaide Street. I think it was in there
Yeah,
before as well.
you could find yourself having an exercise on a floor there, and then having to go to a completely different floor to perform your next set on a different machine. They could potentially be taken. Like a good coach in that situation would just have you going floor to floor, even though it's not the most optimal setup possible.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
See, to be honest though, I would say I would be almost inclined to say, don't we train the Pure Gym? Like, because you're not going to enjoy it. Like for me, like majority of people, if you're going to train in Pure Gym, the gym then becomes a chore and it becomes a nightmare, and it's not your time to focus on yourself and zone out, because it's like trying to fight for equipment and stuff, and like a commercial gym like that. I think environment plays a big role too in your gym you're using, and I like those 24/7 gyms for me. Just nah, it's not a thing.
That's a phenomenal coaching point. I'm gonna steal off you.
Change gym, just move gym.
No, yeah, it's definitely not something I say enough. I always just make it work for people, but you're right. Your environment means a lot, and
Also,
you
yeah,
same again. If you're a fighting athlete, like it's a perfect example. If you're fighting out of it, no, like you're not gonna go fight out of the shittest gym just because it's there. You're gonna
no,
go fight with the people that are the best because you know you're gonna become the best. So you should be doing the same thing with your fucking training.
yeah. Like I know someone that friend of mine who trained in a tennis club in a gym, very minimal equipment, and probably didn't really like enjoy the gym as much. Moved to a facility which was world class, like the best equipment, and like absolutely loves the gym now, and is making way more progress. Not because it's more optimal or the equipment's better, but because the enjoyment and the environment's better. Um, so
Is
definitely
your
still.
environment nuking your progress?
Yeah, your environment needs to be conducive. Like that goes beyond gym. Like, but again, another topic for another day, probably, mate. Another question, that I
Go for
want
it.
you to answer, because I'm probably not the best person equipped to answer it, is the difference between the Irish bodybuilding scene compared to the UK.
Yeah. It's, it's at the current time right now, it is still separated. You can see it's starting to bridge a gap because a lot more sort of Irish competitors are using English coaches. And it's sort of always been the way. You don't really see it too much across the board of like English competitors having Irish coaches. So you find a lot of the Irish athletes actually travel on the mainland UK because there's a lot more like the meccas of
Yeah,
bodybuilding out there. And there's a lot more events, and it's a lot more organised. I think that the Irish scene, the Irish community, are doing a phenomenal job of trying to reach that point, but unfortunately, bodybuilding just still isn't a massive thing here just yet. but the difference, the Irish have just always been a much more tight-knit community. With the UK bodybuilding scene growing so much faster from my perspective of what I see, they're going through a big stage now of just a lot of different opinions coming in and a lot of bitchiness. Whereas the Irish community is still quite young, and it's a lot more community based and driven. You do still get bitchiness, don't get me wrong. You do in all sports and all aspects of life. There's always drama.
Yeah.
There's always somebody. But yeah, you see, you see a lot of people travel to shows in Ireland because there's so little of them compared
Yeah.
to the UK. UK, you're talking every single, from bodybuilding season starts the whole way through. You're talking at least every weekend having 3 to 4 shows, and at any one point, and you can go select them. Same as what you're saying, you were sort of looking at when's the bodybuilding shows in Australia. Like, whenever we looked at when's the bodybuilding shows in Ireland, it was like, oh, here's your 2 chances this year to go compete, buddy. If you
Mm.
miss them, you're not competing.
Yeah. So yeah, so like you probably say there in summary that the demand for it, or the federations being run, aren't running frequent shows because probably not as much of a demand for it. Probably more people playing Gaelic hurling and boxing in Ireland, and then you also have the fact that, like, me, without much like inside knowledge on that, would be just the gym scene in the UK. Like, no one's moving to Rotherham to go and live other than for the Ultraflex gym. You know what I mean? Like, why else would you live in Rotherham?
Mate, I don't know if you've been in Rotherham, have you?
I haven't, but not to shed anyone that lives in Rotherham, but I can't imagine it being
No, I definitely will. I'll take that stand. It's like Ballymurphy, mate.
right.
But on crack. It's like
Okay.
it is
Alright.
actually frightening to walk through Rotherham. So does
Yeah.
me and wee Shay were walking through it, not the same Shay, that's the question. And a guy came running past us with a glass bottle, and I thought he was actually just gonna shank us with it, mate. And I had a bottle in my hand and turned around. I got there, like, sort of hand up at him, and I was like, "Ugh," and he sort of pulled back, and I was like, "Are you trying to, like, rob us?" And he was like, "No, no, no." I was like, "Okay." Like, you were hearing gunshots and all. I was like, "This place is
That
actually
was the
fucking
inner
mental."
that was the inner Belfast man in you as well there.
That's it, mate. You get to them first. You know, when you just scare
Fight or
them
flight.
away.
Fight or flight. Yeah, that's the main, like,
The-
Ultraflex Rotherham. There's like a big gym scene in Manchester, I believe, as well, with the Frontline Fitness Gym.
yeah.
So, like, people are moving over who love bodybuilding for those gyms, whereas maybe there wasn't as much of that at home. Although I'm
No,
definitely,
you
I'm
don't get
definitely seeing
that.
it. I'm definitely seeing it improve in terms of the actual gyms now, though, because I used to travel from Lurgan to Glenavy. For Lurgan, for a bit of context, subbing to Glenavy, where I was living, and then back into Ballynahinch to go to the gym.
Give people a
Because
bit of a timeline there, because a lot of people aren't going to know the directions there. Like, well, how long are you traveling for?
I mean, it's yeah, fair enough. From Lurgan to Glenavy is probably maybe an hour drive, I would say,
Hmm.
and then maybe another
In,
hour out to the gym.
in traffic.
Another hour out to the gym, and then an hour back as well. And I was going there because it was probably like it was the place to go to train if you wanted to train using a bodybuilding style. So I was willing to drive a bit further out. But like, there's more now. I'm seeing more and more gyms that are decent.
I
So
think
it's
we
good.
have four that rolled off the top of my head. You've definitely got the gym there. He has good equipment. The dock is definitely up there. Infinity Gym have just sort of came along there, and they're doing very well.
Mm.
And then of course Arkham as well. So
Arc
four gyms
Arc.
in the north that are very very good. And do you know what, mate? You you might in the next year or two start to see people locating closer to these gyms. We're
Mm.
we're on the benefited side where we can travel to them very easily. Like, there was
Yeah.
times where I was training fully out of the dock like yourself, but I'm sort of uh, West Belfast, jump on the motorway, and you're down to there maybe 35 minutes
Even in
max.
Belfast, is it called Atlas? It
Yeah,
used to.
Atlas are doing very good.
Yeah.
Like, they're definitely driving for a much better standard of gym in the centre of Belfast. And fuck, I think, from this is a business aspect of knowing it, because I own a gym. It can be very hard to meet the demands of the many. Bodybuilding isn't that big of a sport, so they're getting the equipment and people aren't appreciating it.
Yeah, people don't know what it is. Like they don't know how to load a prime piece, loading it all on the bottom pin.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
they feel shit and they're like, what is this? And or where there's three options in there. I just want one option. So yeah, I suppose it's hard like having like niche equipment like that in a if there's a lot of just like general population people in there.
Yeah, so it's where you invest your money to make it a viable business too. Like them boys are definitely like they've just ordered the Sabex pivot press and the Sabex Smith machine to name it a couple of other great. Like I absolutely love Atlas because I trained there for a long time. The Sabex side lateral machine is a smashing one. They've got a couple of presses there. They've actually got one of the old Strave shoulder presses, and
Yeah,
again having those options for the loading, the
yeah.
resistance profile. You see people butcher all the time. They're standing there like changing the wee dial to a random number and not really knowing what they're doing with it. I don't want to leave out anything in case Big Fenton's watching.
No,
Um,
there's top equipment there. I had a client training out of there, and it was like a dream to program. It was one of those gyms where, and they were getting new stuff in regularly, and they were upgrading their equipment, and I was like, as a coach, I was like, this is magic, because these are
we
actually
absolutely
really,
love it whenever our clients like, oh, like they send you a picture being like they're getting this new machine in, and the client doesn't even know what it is. You're like, oh my god, where
yeah,
did they
I love
find
that.
that?
Like mate, like some of the gyms over here, and one of the guys I was programming for in his gym was just like, oh, like this is a joke. Um, it's just all prime, Atlantis, Sabex, old school Nautilus, and you're like, I mean, you've to pick a bunch here. Um,
Oh, it almost becomes hard
too
to be
good.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you're getting paralysis by analysis. You're like, oh fuck, I want to squeeze this in as well in
hmm
the program because it's so good, but don't want to, but don't want you in the gym for too long either. So yeah, it's about
yeah.
finding a sweet spot there. Another question, mate, was around death row meal.
We've done this already. You give me an answer, and I don't know. I feel like it's bullshit. I think you're just trying
You
to be
know
a
what?
good coach.
I say a cream of rice, right? And I know people are
Yeah,
gonna go fucking wise up. Cream of rice isn't your death row meal, but see the way I make it. It is unbelievable. Like
chefing
the
it
thing
up.
is, you're being put to death, so like it's gonna be a bit of a waste of a pump because you're gonna be getting loads of carbs in there, and then you're just gonna die, which is a bit of a melt. But maybe we'll put it as that's the dessert because the way it's an unbelievable meal, and you're gonna go like. Obviously, I think the first thing you said to me was like such a bodybuilder, but I think I don't know why only bodybuilders eat cream of rice. Like,
Oh mate, I try and put the Muay Thai guys onto it, and they're like, I'm like, see, and the double down that you stole this on me, but Croats.
croats, croats are good. So you mix your or cream of oats, you can call it. So you
Yeah,
mix it with your cream of rice, and it makes like velvety oats. That's great as well.
so
Uh,
good,
that's
so
very
good. I
good.
haven't had that in a long time.
But if we're going cream of rice or oats, that's for me. It's cream of rice, no brainer, easy. But
I'm on the
um,
outside.
if we're death row meal, I actually had my death row meal the other day. I had an off-plan meal. Like, I just love sushi. And I had like a few sushi rolls yesterday. In the evening, out in the balcony, sun was shining. It was quality. And I didn't die after. It wasn't actually death row, but it was an unbelievable meal. And the reason I love sushi so much is because you can be satisfied after, but you don't get that heavy shit feeling afterwards as well. Whereas like if it was like a pizza or a burger or something, you may feel a bit um your digestion
Sluggish.
might yeah, and your digestion might be great the next day. So for me, sushi, cream of rice as a dessert. Um I love a steak as well though. So like um if for you never had a steak, that's another fucking that's like it's definitely a steak.
Sacrilege.
Um,
Yeah, so anyone that doesn't know, I've never had steak. It isn't out of like not liking things or anything. I've just never got around to it. Don't really
mate,
care enough about it.
you get round it like steak. I'd say would be a lot of people's death row meal. You get medium rare steak with maybe some duck fat potatoes, bit of veg. I actually got like these deep fried Brussels sprouts one time when I was out, and they were like I don't even like Brussels sprouts, but they're unbelievable. So that was like that's almost a death row meal in of itself. But we could talk about food all day, mate.
Mate, speaking of that, I was in a restaurant at one point and they gave us it was cabbage cooked in duck fat. I think it was like fried cabbage. It was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Genuinely
like,
one of the best things I've ever had. It was fucking so good, mate.
see when the restaurant makes veg and it's great, that is a sign of a great restaurant. Like, I think I got broccoli, with it had like a salted caramel sauce on it, and it was like you could eat it on its own and be satisfied. And that's broccoli, like, so. But load of rambling there, load of waffling. Death row meal is still cream of rice. All those things are good, but it's cream of rice, like a big bowl of cream of rice.
Colin Geddes talked about this in a podcast, and it was like a funny joke, but I fucking totally agree with him, and I'm gonna double down with the cream of rice. See, oats, people don't actually like oats. They like all the shit that comes with the oats.
That's the same with cream rice, to be fair. It's the toppings, it's the way you make it, it's the
Yeah.
way it tastes, it's the dark
You wouldn't
chocolate.
just eat like plain cream of rice and be like, "Yep, death row meal." It's like it's the frozen berries. It's the fucking, like you said, the dark chocolate, squeezy peanut butters, whatever you add to it,
Well,
and
disclaimer, if I added squeezy peanut butter, it actually would be a death row meal because I would die. No, we're not putting peanut butter in mine.
would
Had a
you ever
few,
get the whole like no nut butter?
tried it, it's decent. Still felt like dangerous, some way. Because like I've had terrible like anaphylaxis, almost died eating peanuts by accident. So having that no nut butter, you still get that taste. So you're expecting the
Something to
aftermath. It doesn't
happen.
come. It doesn't come. It's probably not as enjoyable of experience because you associate that taste with fucking yeah,
Death.
not a very good time. Yeah. But yes,
I mean,
well,
that's
fair.
actually really, really, really interesting because like you actually have to have an allergic reaction to figure out that you're allergic to it. I don't know why, it just didn't gel in my head. Like you actually almost have to die to find out.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think my dad gave me uh, peanut. Like he had a bag of peanuts when I was a kid, and he asked me if I wanted one. I think maybe. I think I smelt it, and then I was flaring up, and I was like, "Nah, it's all good." And I think there was a few other occasions where my ma bought satay chicken curry out of the Chinese, and I was being
Bang.
sick and throwing up and stuff. And we didn't actually know at the time that satay was cooked in peanut oil. We just thought it was like a fancy chicken curry. So I found out that the hard way. I almost died a couple of times working in restaurants. Really having it, like I think I took a bit into a chicken wing and it was cooked in peanuts. Then there was an A&E after that.
Holy
Um,
fuck.
had a time in Donegal where I had a biscuit that had traces, and I was in the middle of Gaegile, which is in the Gaeltacht area, rural Ireland. No hospitals within. God, it was going from Letterkenny, so it took like 2 hours. I think I was on the phone to the paramedic, and it was bad, like, and I was like, "How far are you away?" They were calming me down. I was starting to crack jokes and all, the paramedic. "How far are you away?" And they were like, "Oh, we'll be about half an hour." I was like, "Half an hour? I'm not going to make it half an hour." But I did make it. But yeah,
Mate, it would have been better bringing you to the local witch.
I know. Yeah.
Probably, like,
But yeah, I had to
well,
spend
here,
it. Wasn't great.
my death row meal would just be a burger. Just to let you know.
Yeah, just
Just
keep
be a
it
burger.
simple. Keep it simple.
Easy enough. Love a good burger. Like, no, I mean, nothing overly fancy. Love pickles as well. So,
What burger did you
burger.
get?
But
Bunsen?
you know what? Bunsen. Mate, actually, yeah, Bunsen. Like,
Bunsen burgers.
Five Guys. Five Guys just is overrated. Now, I've had it a good amount of times. But see, to be honest, mate, I haven't had one in a very long time. But another McDonald's burger, another 99p cheeseburger, I wouldn't actually care. And I know this goes against everything that we do, but you enjoy what you enjoy. I don't know what it is. I
don't
think it's the
it's your death
texture
row.
sort of.
I don't think it's your death row. I
A lot of
mean,
people have had McDonald's on their death row, mate.
maybe.
Not
True.
many, not many people have had cream of rice. You know what I mean? The
True.
sort of
But I don't know.
on
I
my
don't know if
court.
people have McDonald's for their death row meal, but I think you should try a steak, because then the comparison between, a steak and a McDonald's burger, it's going to be night and day, the quality. So,
I'll wait until you come over here to get a steak, and then because there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are wanting this experience with me, but I don't really want to give it to them, you
We'll
know.
do a podcast episode over a steak.
That sounds amazing. Sounds amazing.
Be
Actually,
good.
you know what? For me, food isn't the big one. It's texture. I don't know if other people get this, but have you ever had a jam sandwich stuck in your school bag for like a food day between books? As like a
No,
kid, like a ham or jam sandwich, like
actually,
where
I
it's
have.
actually very close to being an
Nah,
A1 sheet of
my
paper.
ma, my ma loved me.
Did you? I made my
Yeah,
own sandwiches. My man didn't make them.
I, oh, did you? I used to get chicken. I used to get chicken in mine. I used to get good sandwiches actually. But right, mate. We'll fire on another question.
I got school dinners, but sure.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I enjoyed school dinners as well in St Mary's. Shout out to Rosie if anyone from St Mary's is listening.
Big up Rosie.
Big up Rosie. Tuesday, proper roast dinner. Their dinners were actually good as well. Some of the dinners I see in schools over here is bad. Not good. You have it well. You have it good over there. Anyway, another question. I think you had a good question on cheat days potentially, didn't you?
Yeah, so let me just get it here for the funniest excuse to cheat on a client's diet. I do have one. I
Go
have one.
ahead.
I still have this client on board. So I don't think he minds me telling the story because I actually asked him about it. But yes, this client clearly was just at a point where he was getting it quite hard on the end of a cut, and I was sort of questioning him like why has the weight spiked, etc. in his check-in, and his reasoning for this here was that he said that he didn't know this here, but in the middle of the night he was sleepwalking and going to the freezer and eating a tub of Ben and Jerry's.
Fuck,
So
that's a bad case of sleepwalking, isn't it?
I know, mate. Well, that's sort of what I said to him. I was like, it's funny enough that you go for the Ben and Jerry's and you just then go for the chicken and rice in the fridge.
Yeah, but you have to cook the chicken and rice up and stuff. If you're sleepwalking, like obviously you're naturally
Well,
gonna
if you
follow it.
fucking
I
prepped your
believe him.
meals,
I
you
believe
believe
him.
him. Didn't even ask him what flavour it was either.
Nah, that's funny. Like, I don't think I don't know if I have any that are jumping out at me. There's obviously been a few, um, but I wouldn't. I don't think they're funny, mate. It's like just
I mean,
prepare your
yeah.
meal and be an adult, and you'll be fine.
Well, that's it. I've just been at it a longer time and had just like some absolute maniacs on with me. Not that that
Yeah,
client is a
true.
maniac. He's a good client to be fair, and he does do well with me. But it was just a funny one. Um, I think one of my pet peeves with that, and especially young males, and we talked about this here before. It's just getting getting to their check-in, and you're being like, how did everything go? And everything went spot on. I'm like, we're not really hitting the marker here for what we're looking for. What's different? Run me through your day. And then they hit me with, yeah, so I had all my meals for 3 or 4, let's say. Like, I had meal 4 and then got to the house, my mum made dinner. And I'm like, and your mum made dinner? I'm like, that's not your meal 5, buddy. And he's like, I know, but what am I supposed to do? My mummy makes me dinner. And I'm like,
Have to eat it like
I know, like you don't, you just don't. I
no.
had to go out a very long time ago, and I tried the sort of the both scenarios. Scenario 1 is trying to convince your mother to make you a certain amount of grams of chicken and rice whenever you're in a family of 7.
Yeah.
Doesn't really go down very well. I learned very fast. I
No,
get
just
told to
wait.
go fuck myself very quickly.
The ma's and all hitting you. Just the ma's hitting you having to cater her meals around. But I'd say just make your own. Just prepare your own. Like if you're old enough to do it, you don't have to be eating your ma's
It's
dinner.
about the experience. It's not about what you're eating.
Your
If you're
ma's
still
your
sitting down
ma's
to the table,
your ma's dinners are guaranteed to be 90 grams of fat, 400 carbs, and maybe like 5. You make a couple of grams of protein in there, and it's just through the trace.
good
Just
bit
through
of
the trace
sodium, like.
carbs. It's just through the trace carbs. The protein's coming through trace, but like yeah, ma's dinners isn't the one.
Don't get me wrong, you see the people that do get fed well, you know their man that are fucking switched on with the food. You're like, you're a big motherfucker. And to be
Yeah,
honest, it was a bit of a topic a client talked to me about the other day, but depending on what country you're from, it makes a big difference. You hear about the Mediterranean diet and stuff being a very healthy diet, and you
yeah,
see you see that transfer over into people's physiques, and it
yeah.
is what it is.
All jokes aside, like that again plays into your environment as well. Um,
Hard to, I'll just be deadly honest. Amit needs to go for a piss. What do we
right.
do?
I'll be a second man. Cheers.
Go for it. I'll quickly continue to talk about this here. But yes, the Mediterranean diet is a very healthy diet. Whereas whenever you see it across the board, you can see the different countries that their diets aren't as dead in, or maybe they're very behind on the sort of information that they're being handed for health. I'm sure anyone from Ireland will know, or Ireland and the UK, whenever like Jamie Oliver sort of came in with the school dinners and stuff, and you're getting your chicken nuggets to go off you, you're raging. Um, but yeah, it was a quite an interesting topic that me and that client actually sort of delved into big time. Was that the change of country that you're living in could make a massive difference to your overall health, and I think it's something I'll question Emmett on here whenever he gets back. But I wonder if that's been the same thing for him going to Australia. Sorry, I just rambled on by myself there. Um,
I'm sure you've done well there, mate. Thanks for outing me. I should have went before. I should have went
you've
before.
you've actually made me want to go to the toilet now, which is unfortunate. But I sort of just delved into the point that a lot of different countries have different diets, and has moving to Australia helped your diet?
I think it's pretty similar to like a Western sort of like that back home. There's not. I don't think there's too much difference. I think the main difference has just been that I have made the change. More and more. And like I think whatever environment like you're in, you can still you can go to a supermarket, you can buy decent food. And there's a big food culture in Melbourne. It's almost a city of culture over here. So it's a lot of it's based around like going out and like restaurants and stuff. And there's like a big food culture. But again, like I don't know. I think it's pretty similar to Ireland. Not too sure. But I think the main difference has just been I've have structure and routine and ownership of my nutrition, what I put in my mouth. Like that's what it comes down to. Yeah.
You're
And
not.
obviously my ma's not making my dinner because she's not in Australia. She's she's back home now.
And you've asked Olivia to make your dinner, and she's told you to go fuck off.
Me and Olivia don't eat the same foods, so this is another thing. You don't have to eat the same thing as your partner to sit down and enjoy a meal together. Um, so it's like my missus doesn't like that food. Well, is your missus trying to be jacked and 200 pounds? Probably not, mate. So you can enjoy a meal and you can enjoy it together and you can enjoy the experience of having food. But you don't always have to have the same thing, or you can have similar things if you just enjoy similar things. But you might just have to have a bit more or a bit less depending on what your goal is.
Yeah,
Um,
well, it's, our situations are a bit different, but I think we sort of approach this the same way. Me and Rihanna do eat the same food, just different quantities. Of course, like you've got the extremes of it, of like Rihanna's definitely eating a lot less food, so her carbohydrate source is a lot lower. She'll fill up on fiber a wee bit more. But we actually do change our final meal throughout the week. So one night we'll actually have like a chili con carne meal. Another
yeah,
night we'll have
I think
chicken
that's
curry, and
I think that's
that's
great
the
though.
only meal that ever
That,
changes.
I think that's great though. Like I think like I'm a big advocate for that, and you're enjoying that as that's an experience for you. Like, do you know what I mean? And you're enjoying that together, and that's like important part of your relationship. But like that's maybe like something you can do once a week, and it's enjoyable. But you don't have to do it every single day, every single meal. And probably if you did, it wouldn't be as much of an enjoyable experience when you do it. When you do have the meal like on that day. So
Like, it is something that we do every night. But it's me and Rihanna's like debrief of the day. Even though we work in the same building and we do
uh,
the same job, you do not. And I think this is a
speak
fucking
each
massive
other.
point to delve into. It it isn't like you're not actually you're wearing a different cap. That's my business partner. You know,
Yeah,
whenever I'm in the gym, it's not
yeah,
my fiance. My
right.
fiance is whenever we step through the door. It's whenever we go on a date night. It's whenever we go for a walk.
Yeah.
That's whenever we are a couple.
And do you try and switch off and not talk about training at the gym, or do you maybe is the debrief you speaking about the day unfolding?
It's how was your day in work, you know, and
Yeah.
like it comes with a bit of play on acting, like you don't actually know what happened
Yeah.
because everyone's outlook's so different to the day as well. So what I see happen isn't actually what happened in Rihanna's head.
Hmm.
So it's nice. It's really nice, even though you know what she's going to say or you know sort of the rough idea of it. Like there's bits where I didn't see her as well. Like what happened in that wee
Uh,
fucking
and
40-minute segment when
her
you went for a
experience
walk?
of it, her experience of it as well.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so that's good.
Yeah, I think we have a quite a healthy relationship that way, and it wouldn't work if we didn't implement small things like that there.
And again, I think yeah, every relationship needs that. There are certain things in place that help it. It's just about finding those and working through it. Like,
Big time, big time. Do we have any more questions, or we'll
I think
wrap
we're
this
right.
up?
I think we've done well. We've near gone 2 hours.
We've
Um,
waffled.
yeah, we've waffled a bit, but I think there's been a decent bit of value in there as
Entertainment
well.
and education.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to. I think that's what we're trying to go for anyway. Decent amount of value in there, but we're also, not taking ourselves too seriously. Now, one thing we're going to incorporate, and this is going to be a tradition as part of the Craic'n Coachin podcast, is a Falkland lay, which is just Irish for a word for the day. Today's is a seanokul, which is an Irish proverb as opposed to just a word, and it's going to be tú smaoi la na hibre, which just means a good start is half the work, and it's applicable to starting a podcast, mate. We probably were winging it a bit. There's the first one, and we just had to get stuck in, just make a start. And starting's going to be the best thing you can do, no matter what it is. And we'll get better with time. Getting to know each other a bit more too. Like our couple, like maybe third time speaking to each other.
Literally third conversation in person,
Yeah.
or well,
Yeah,
actually,
not even in person. Yeah. So that's why we went with that. But we'll keep that as part of the podcast. Keep a bit of Gaelic in there as well.
yeah. I think a big part of that is just because like Amit is actually a fully Irish speaking man. Like, and I know bits and pieces. Unfortunately, I don't fully speak it. I'd love to learn more, and that was a big part of it for us. Is just, like we definitely want to touch a lot of points here across this podcast, and I
And
love the Irish language
I'm
too.
happy to teach you as well, as we go. And with those little words we throw in there, I want them to be applicable to trying to link them to what we're doing as well, and what the podcast has been about.
Hit me with it one more time.
Tú smaoi la na hibre.
Tú smaoi la
Na hibre.
na hibre.
Tú smaoi is a good start. La na hibre is half the work. And we'll leave it at that, Bob, sir.
Oh well.
Until next week.
Have a great night's sleep. I'm gonna go have a fucking great day, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a fantastic day, mate. Been a pleasure. See you next week.
Slán go fáil.
Slán.